Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the No Limits Life podcast. I'm your host, Nordine.
I'm Ken Quillis, co-host, your co-host.
Thank you for being here, Ken.
It's good to be here.
Ken, today's vignette is called The Simplicity of Presence. I want to begin by sharing the quote that sparked today's conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Some say, be here now, but it's easier than you think because there's nowhere else you can truly be. This one really touched something in me. How about you?
Oh, me too, for sure. Can I tell you something?
Of course.
Well,
that's why we're here.
Okay, so here's the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, this was like 2-3 days ago. This is in Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. And I was at the gym. I got done at the gym, and I decided what I like to do after the gym is I like to walk around a little bit. I don't like to just jump in my truck and leave. Mm-hmm. So I decided, well, I'm going to walk around this plaza, right? So I walk behind the plaza. I like to walk behind things because there's not a lot of activity.
That's before getting in the gym?
This is after.
After, okay.
This is after. I just mellow out before I just leave. And so I'm walking. It's a beautiful spring day, and I'm walking behind the gym, and I walk towards – I didn't know what was back there. I've never been in this gym before. And behind the gym, I thought it was a golf course, but it was a park. Mm-hmm. And so there's rolling hills and stuff, and I'm walking past the park, and all of a sudden I start tuning into the birds. I'm thinking, oh, listen to those birds. And, oh, look at the trees. And I'm looking around. And then as I walked closer to the park, there was a swing set and a ramada and a mom. I could see a mom playing with her kids. And I thought, oh, that's how cool. It reminded me of my kids when they were little, right? So I thought, oh, that's so cool. But then I see a dad. And I think, oh, there's a dad. You know, it's during the day, during the week. I thought, well, it's kind of weird. This young dad is out there, but good for him. And so his kids are sliding down the slide, and they're playing in front of him. And the thing that got me and made me think back to me, the mistake I think I made because of what I saw him doing, is he was on his cell phone. And I'm thinking, wow, that was me. And literally his kids are playing and having fun, screaming,
that
having
was
a good time.
You
and that's me because
yeah.
I'm looking at this poor guy, and he's probably working. You know, he had to work probably, but he's on his phone, and his kids are having all this fun there. And I thought, wow, well, he's just the things he's missing because of that stupid cell phone. Mm-hmm. And he's just not in the moment. He's just not being present. And that was me. And I still remember those days. I can remember going to the park with my boys and stuff, but I think there was so much I missed because I was on that stupid screen.
And the thought that came to your mind was he's probably thinking. So, and that's the problem with, with society. We think we can do, multitask and do other things, but it's erroneous because when we do one thing, we are actually and trying to do something else. We're switching from one to another. Mm-hmm. It's fast switching behavior. It's not multitasking. Nobody does. When you think about breathing, do you breathe 2 breaths at the same time? No, you don't.
No.
Take one at a time.
No.
When you think a thought, you think 2 thoughts at a time? No. You think 1 thought at a time. And that's how it works. And when you said he's probably working, that's how we think. But that does not give him work does not give him an excuse, or any parent out there, to be non-present when you have your kids, to be non-present when you have your kids. And that's very important to note. If you're there with the kids, be there with your kids.
No, it's so sad because my mom, and I had so many people tell me it goes boom like that, just so fast. Before you know it, they're gone. And my kids, when they were that age playing, let's say his kids were probably 4, 5, 6 years old. And I like I said, I can close my eyes, I can remember that feeling, and I remember seeing them play, but I know I missed so much. Like they would be telling me they wanted my attention, and I would glance up for a second, I'd look back on my screen, and I'm sending a text or an email or whatever, and I'm thinking, how stupid was that? Like, nobody would have known.
Yeah.
I didn't need to do that.
So what do you think happened that brought you to that awareness? I mean, you were walking after the gym, after working out, and then you mentioned the birds, and you started being aware of nature.
I think I was just present. I never was present.
You came back to presence.
I was never present. My wife would talk to me, and I would do I'd listen to her, And if you asked me a minute later, what did she just talk to me about? I really didn't know what because I was thinking about what I got to do next.
Yeah. So you're in that element of mindfulness, and then you start thinking. After seeing the parent or the father being on his phone, you go back to memory land, so you're no longer present.
Right.
So you went back from being present where you went from being present to not being present,
Yeah.
and then coming back and forth.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
I just started thinking. I started observing more. I watched an older couple walking through the park, and I thought, man, how cool is that? And and then I just stopped. I looked up at the sky; it was blue, and I saw the birds in the trees. I thought, and the old me wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have listened. I wouldn't have closed my eyes and heard stuff. And forced myself to listen.
You mentioned to me many times before in conversations. You bring up a lot the old me.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Why do you have to compare the old you with who you are now?
Because the old me, I thought was really successful, and I was always so driven, and I realized the old me missed out on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware of everything, or as much as I'm aware now.
You were always
I was very one-dimensional. I was
doing
just so focused on
something.
going forward.
You were from
living in the future.
Yeah,
I got to do this.
From the minute you woke up,
Yeah.
you were all mind, thinking about doing one thing.
I never
after,
rested.
One thing after the other.
Yeah.
And forgetting about truly being.
Yeah.
Which is what happened at the park.
You know what I do now, which I've never did until I'm 62 now, and I didn't do this till almost 2 years ago. A year and a half, a little over a year. I decided that one day a week. I mean, this is stupid. How could I not think of this?
Mm-hmm.
One day a week, I'm going to do nothing, and I call it my Sabbath, right? And I picked a Sunday. You can pick any day of the week. I thought, well, on Sunday, I'm going to do nothing. And so in the morning, I get up real early and I'll look at, like a text or whatever. But then starting at about 6:30 in the morning, I do nothing. Susie will ask me to do something. And it's like, no, I'm doing
as
nothing.
Per activities, right?
Yeah, I don't work. I don't look at my email. I don't text. If somebody calls me, if it's work related, I really don't want to talk to them. If it's, something having to do with work.
What if I said to you, you actually being a lot? Instead of doing nothing, you're being a lot. You're actually connecting to yourself.
I am, yeah.
And like the quote says.
I'm recharging my batteries
we are
too.
Here and now and nowhere else you can be. Our body has been here since the day you were born, right? Even before that.
Right.
And it never went anywhere. The mind goes to the past or the future. The body is always here, present.
Right.
Okay? So on that Sunday, as you refer to your Sabbath, is you being a lot more, and doing, like you said, less or nothing.
Right.
But you being present. You being present for your family. You being present for yourself. I visit with friends.
You visit with friends. I have a cigar.
All the things,
I just enjoy.
All the things that you actually not doing, or not being otherwise during the week.
Even something simple like going for a walk.
How
I go
about
for a walk.
Implementing that element of presence and mindfulness every day, from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep, reminding yourself that it's not all about work. It's not all about freaking out. It's not all about seeking gratification from others. Life is a series of choices you make. You better make good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But we make those choices being mindful of the consequences that those actions have in our lives, and most and foremost, the lives of others.
I got warned when I was probably 21, 22. I just started in the TV business. And this person that hired me, he was my manager. His name's Maury, and he warned me. He goes, they used to call me Junior because I was so young. And he goes, Junior, if you work the way you're working, you're going to burn yourself out. He says, I've seen it happen before.
And it happened.
And I thought, no, I'm not going to burn myself out. And the truth is, I didn't burn myself out for years. But then when I burned out, I really burned out. I just went dark fast.
So Ken, real quick, when you say I didn't burn myself out, then you were actually burning yourself. That's the process.
Yes, I was in the process of burnout.
The end result was got there. The idea is not to get there and not do the things that are going to get you there.
Yeah.
So listeners and who is watching right now, please understand this. Be aware that burnout is a process. Okay, it's not something you do once and you get to be burned out. It's a process. When you realize that your ability or the society's demand exceeds your ability to perform, then you are
I got dangerous.
on a dangerous path.
If I would have known when I was in my 20s just to take one day off, completely off, just enjoy life, enjoy family.
The burnout is the direct consequence of all the choices that you made when you were not present.
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of a gentleman not long ago I was working with and teaching him, awareness about just that, burning out and how you get there. And to him, he was completely okay with the fact that he wasn't stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
What if I said to you that you can be stressed out and not feel it and not know it?
I believe I was in that category because I was stressed out and I didn't know it until it was too late. It hit me so fast.
And one of the reasons for that is because of what I call spiritual substitutes. Those are, aka caffeine, distractions to give you false energy and to keep you going. Alcohol, all these things.
I was really good at alcohol. I did a
and that's what I'm
great
saying,
job with that.
They distract you.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel like you're okay.
Right.
Like you're going to make it.
Escape a little bit.
And so in your willingness to be successful, you do. And when you start feeling it, you take what we call those spiritual substitutes to cover the pain. Now you don't feel the pain, so you do more and more and more and more until those spiritual substitutes no longer work.
Right.
And that's when we get to a burnout. In my book, Inner Fitness...
I love that book, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
it's a
talk
great
about
book.
this harmony of the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of one's life. And they're like reservoirs, And when you deplete one, I'm sure you remember those Jaguars. The old Jaguars, I don't know about the new ones, but the old Jaguars had two reservoirs. Mm-hmm. When one was empty, the second one automatically kicked in.
Right,
Okay?
right.
So that's how we are, but 4 reservoirs. So when your mental ability or your reservoir starts being low and you empty it, it taps into the emotional and so on and so forth until all 4 reservoirs are empty. And that's where we call what I call burnout. That's what I call all kinds of other things.
I had nothing left.
Depleted completely from energy.
Yeah.
You have nothing left, and to recover from that is it's an uphill battle.
Well, going back to the dad, I never went. He was all the way across the park, but there was a part of me that just wanted to go over there and just tell him, put the phone down.
Yeah, it's ironic you said that because I want to share a story with you.
And he'd probably get mad at me if I did
and
it.
this is exactly what happened to me. Let me tell you a story that happened to me and my 2 kids. When Isabella and Armand were like, I think they were like 9 and he's 10, 10 and a half. We went to a restaurant and to have breakfast. Mm-hmm. We got there, got seated, and opposite us were 2 persons, one lady and her mom, and I think the lady must have been in her 40s. And at first, I was, minding my own business, but then after a while, I discovered that she was on her phone and not talking. I didn't know it was her mother then. Mm-hmm. I found out later. But, and she barely looked at her, and the mom was just sitting alone. I mean, talking about being alone with someone, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Being alone with someone. How often are we alone with someone? How often are we in a room with the people we love and not talking to each other?
Right.
Completely alone. And
it's a sad thing.
After probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes, the server came with a birthday cake, and it was the mother's birthday.
The one that's on the phone?
The lady takes her phone and puts it on the table. Mm-hmm. First time since we got there. And she sang the happy birthday song. And as soon as the mother blew the candles, she went back on her phone. And the mother was
So she didn't even enjoy
her cake alone.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop it. I did what she didn't want to do.
What did you do?
I thought. I stood up.
You went over there?
And my kid said, Dad, no, please don't.
I would have been right there too, telling you, don't do it, don't do it.
No, I have to. I know it's not my business, but this is something I need to do.
So you felt compelled, you had to do this.
I looked at the lady, I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, for what I'm about to say to your daughter.
Right.
And I looked at her, I said, shame on you, ma'am. Shame on you. You haven't spoken to your mom the whole time, and you only sang the song and then went back to your phone. It's none of your business. I'm going to talk to the manager. And I said, you talk to the manager all you want.
So she got upset.
But I am so happy that I brought some awareness because I know you're going to think about this.
I hope she does, yeah.
She will.
Yeah.
So to our point of being present, being here and now for everything we do, for everyone we are with. If you're eating and you're enjoying people at your table, just celebrate that moment because we don't know what's going to happen.
Might not be here tomorrow.
One might not be here 2 minutes from now.
True.
Nobody knows. There's nobody that can actually tell you if they're going to be alive an hour from now.
Yeah.
No
so do you
one.
think I should have walked over and talked to that dad?
Probably.
I don't know how he would react. He might have got really upset with me. I'm just thinking if it was me and somebody told me that, the old me, I would have been, I think I would have been okay with it.
Reactivity comes from ego.
Yeah.
Okay? It's okay. Forget about this. Forget about how they want to react or they will react. Think about the good you're going to install in his mind. There's an old saying that says, if you're there and you are sharing your energy and your presence and it's felt, you're doing a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, when you are busy on your phone, your energy is not there. It's on your phone.
It was.
You're focusing.
It was for me.
Where energy goes, focus grows.
Right.
That's where you are at. My take on busyness. You can be busy being unproductive.
Yeah.
And you can be busy being productive. Likewise, you can be present and loving. And you can be present not being there. This show is all about building awareness, creating awareness. And when you have awareness, it's not that you're a perfect person, but you know when you are being or doing or thinking something that's not conducive to your health and well-being. Therefore, you can change it. But when you don't have awareness, you keep on doing the same things over and over and over and expecting a different result.
Right.
And that's the problem.
I think because of you, I am more aware now.
So when you create that awareness, and by the way, in order to create awareness, one needs to sit within every single day and build that awareness. Awareness, I equate awareness to, I don't know if some of you guys who are listening and watching, and those who haven't, think about the American Vacation. American Lampoon Vacation?
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase
Great.
He's driving the Champs-Élysées and he's going around the Arc de Triomphe.
That would have been me.
And it's all the cars, he's traffic jam, he's losing it, blah, blah, blah.
That would be me.
Imagine your mind is that avenue, that Champs-Élysées avenue, and your thoughts are all these cars, and there's no awareness there, right?
Right.
So
chaos.
What happened is that they made the Champs-Élysées avenue wider. Mm-hmm. So now you have the same amount of traffic, but it's more fluent, right?
Right.
Now you have awareness.
Right.
So those cars are your thoughts, and you are aware of your thoughts. You are aware of your actions. You are aware of how you're being and doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are aware, you have the ability to step away, to step back from hurting yourself.
Right.
Okay. So that is awareness. The ideal.
I didn't understand awareness for a while. When you first talked to me about it, I didn't quite get it.
So it's actually.
But I finally, it festered in there, and then I started noticing it.
And the way to build that is sitting within in meditation, in prayer, in giving yourself, stillness and building that every single day. It allows for awareness you create a greater awareness, so to speak. That is, there's different level of awareness. That's in the beginning, it starts with you do what you're not supposed to be doing, and then awareness kicks in and you say, oh my God. So next time
thank you for that. That's a gift, by the way, so thank you.
So, and you say to yourself, next time I won't do it.
Yeah.
And as you get better, before you get...
It does take practice, which sounds weird, but
absolutely,
it does.
Before you get to that place of no, this thing is not going to work for me, it's not conducive to my health and well-being, I know I'm aware, so I'm not going to do it. I'm stepping back. Mm-hmm. So you go from doing it, being aware of it, and creating that awareness that you're not going to do it again, to you're not even getting in trouble anymore because you are aware.
Right.
So that's what the show is about, is creating awareness so our lives become limitless. No limit life means we are going over the threshold and are aware of every single thing that we are thinking and doing and being.
I want to ask our viewers, listeners, a challenge. And it sounds so simple, but just look up at the sky or the stars. Pretty amazing.
You realize that you're part of this great elements that's life, and we are content. Everything around us, the sky, everything else is the context. Mm-hmm. And, having the ability to take time and, like at the traffic light or stop light or sign or whatever it may be, where you're given that opportunity, even at the supermarket when you're waiting in line.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity
I've gotten upset waiting in line quite a bit.
And be non-judgmental.
Guess who I met standing in a line at a grocery store one time?
So when you're non-judgmental, it means that you're looking at things a different way. Mm-hmm. And when you're judgmental, you use ego. Mm-hmm. Okay, you use fear. You use the past or you use the future. Past or future leads to that judgment. You're afraid of something for some reason. So you're judging.
Right.
And when you switch to awareness, you're no longer judging. You're looking at people for who they are.
Right.
At things for what they are. And that's the beauty of mindfulness. And this is the beauty of being aware, the beauty of being here and now. So I think it's important for everyone who's watching and listening to practice this, practice awareness, practice mindfulness. And when you do so, you create a life of no limits.
All right, well, we'll see you next time on No Limits Life podcast. Until then, breathe, notice, and be kind to yourself. Thanks for tuning in to the No Limits Life podcast. If today's message inspired you, share it with a friend and follow us for more weekly reflections. To learn more about Nordine and his transformational programs, visit www.nordinezureg.com. Remember, there are no limits, only possibility.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Nordine.